I'm Tocky and I make saves like this or this every weekend.
This morning, I was taking on Longhill Raven Warriors once again. After our 4-3 loss 2 weeks ago to Longhill, we looked to make home advantage count as our last week's 1-0 loss to Hessle. We needed a win to get our season back on track. Again though, we was missing players down to just 12, with Ella still carrying an injury, meant we was still just the 11 on the pitch. With that being said, we're into the match. And to be honest, it wasn't the greatest start from us. The first Longhill attack ended up with them taking the lead in the first minute as we dallied in the defence and a low shot bounced at my fingers and landed straight to a Longhill player to put into an empty net. A few minutes later, our first chance came as two Archies combined on pressing before Chaz chased the ball down. He held one of the Longhill players before knocking past another, running down the left wing. As he got to the edge of the box, he put a cross in the mixer, which Alfie controlled and tried to make the opening to shoot, but to no avail as Longhill defended. The clearance though fell straight to Archie, who rifled one low and hard, was saved by a stop from Deacon in the Longhill goal, before eventually being turned out for a corner. Another couple of minutes saw Cooks pass one over to Spencer, who turned and drove down the right wing. As he got to the edge of the box, he put a low cross in for Archie K, who cleverly backheeled it to Archie C. Archie's first time shot was again saved brilliantly by Deacon, with reactions save tipping it over for a corner. We continued to press, looking for an equaliser as Will cut out his clearance and spun one over to Coops. He flicked one up, which was headed back to him before heading on to chase down the right wing. Holding off the challenge, Coops delivered one into the box, which was partly cleared, but only to Spencer with a smash at goal, which was unfortunately wide. Longhill got a corner mid through the first half, which they nearly doubled their lead as 8 need one just wide from close range. Archie headed clear before Coops controlled it and laid a little pass for Tom. With a great first touch, Tom lofted one over the top, which was 3 to chase, but Deacon got there first to gather up. Archie won the ball down near our corner flag as he battled well and got away from the Longhill attack before passing forward to Archie K. He drove forward over halfway before 6 tracked back and got a tackle. The ball was hit skyward, which Chaz then headed back and forward. Alfie then took a great touch as he lofted it over his head to Archie in space. A break into the box, turning the defender before poking one at goal. Deacon was on hand again to turn it onto the post before grabbing the rebounded ball before anyone could follow in. As we entered the last few minutes of the half, Longhill had a throw on the far side, which we fluffed on, clearing our lines once more, giving Longhill the chance to double their lead, and they did, and it was coolly slotted home as I came out to narrow the angle. A minute later, Archie headed clear at the halfway to Spencer, who knocked one over for Chaz to chase. As the ball held up, Chaz put the cross in, and it hit the arm of a Longhill player, giving a penalty. Alfie stepped up and expertly dispatched a low hit down to Deacon's left, cutting the Longhill lead and getting us back in the game, and with that, we're just about at half-time. So 2-1 down at half-time, and well, what can I say? Longhill started the second half on the front foot as Will headed clear for 6 hit on over for Junior to chase down, which saw me out together on the edge of my box. Seconds later, Longhill came again as Chaz and Kenny chased 9, who tried to cross it in, which Spencer latched onto in the box before bringing it forward. He attempted to pass to Alfie at halfway, but 6 got a block in before Harrison, 16, tried a long-range shot from 35 yards out, which was a tad over. After several minutes of nothing noteworthy, Longhill restored their 2-goal cushion as we lose out in the midfield for a long ball over the top, splits our defence in a similar fashion in the last game versus Longhill. 8 shrugged off Archie, leaving him 1-on-1 as I rushed out, but 8 smartly dinked it over me, making the game 3-1 to the visitors. Longhill came again, but the throw-in was brought down by Harrison and flicked onto 10, who took a first-time shot which saw me down low to bring it in. A corner then nearly got us one back as we put into the mixer and couldn't get a final touch on it before Coops won the ball back and hit one back in, which was cleared out again as Spencer looked to get a shot away. A long goal kick came back in as Longhill pushed for another. The ball was lofted forward inside our half at 8, but Will got there heading it clear, but the ball was cut out by 6, who drove his shot into the ground. The ball bounced awkwardly at the edge of my area, which saw reaction save as I was diving down. As pressure came, I threw myself at the loose ball. Longhill nearly got in again as a long kick out bounced at halfway before Will headed back to Kenny under pressure from 8. 8 continued to press as Kenny tried to hit one back to me, but 8 nipped in and it was chipped over. It looked a certain goal, but Kenny recovered brilliantly to clear it off the line. A couple of minutes later, Longhill another good chance as my goal kick was controlled on the chest by Harrison before shrugging Archie challenge off and toe-poking at a shot from 25 yards out. His effort rattled the crossbar and had me in a tizzy as I spun, but everyone else watched. 10 was there like a flash to follow in and lift it over me as I came out, putting Longhill 4-1 up. With time running out, we pulled one back. My long kick's halfway was cut out by 15, but Spencer battled it back and got a second challenge off 15 before lofting one over the defence. Alfie beat the offside trap and knocked it over Deacon as he rushed out to meet it. Alfie then slotted it home into the middle of the goal as 17 tried to cover. With a little over 5 minutes left, we will look for a miracle comeback. With time running out, the Longhill had this free kick inside our half as there was an audacious hit towards goal, and to be fair, I wasn't far off either as I came across the cover. With seconds left, I hit another long ball which bounced before Chaz flicked it onto Archie. He raced forward, breaking into the box and smashed on towards goal, but Deacon was there once more to make a great save and turned out for a corner which didn't result in anything. And with that time ran out, and we recorded a third defeat in a row. We fell short of the mark today, and it showed. Credit to Deacon though in the Longhill goal, and some great bravery as he came off worse in a challenge against Archie at the end of the first half, and he kept going until full time. We face a much tougher test next week as we face top of the table Tixon at home. Catch you then.